So, good morning to everyone. Our topic for today is all about the introduction to applied economics. So, allow me to share my screen. Yeah. Okay, so introduction to economics. We'll begin first by defining what is economics. From the word economics, it comes from oikonomia or oikonomos. This is a Greek word meaning household management or management of the household. So that's really the basic meaning of economics, household management. So if the way you manage the household, from the household source, from the budgeting, you're actually down to the budgeting, you're actually undergoing or implementing the term economics. So this definition of economics are as follows. It is the study of what constitutes rational human behavior in the endeavor to fulfill the needs and wants, or the study that attempts to explain how an economy operates and how the consumer attempts to maximize his or her wants within the limited needs. So that's a study that constitutes rational behavior. Okay, so to fulfill the needs and wants, kasi ang dami kasing needs at saka wants yung tao, right? This explains, or this attempts to explain how an economy operates. Okay, paano ba nagde-decide yung economy natin? Okay? What are their behaviors kapag may mga sudden changes in the prices? Or how the consumer attempts to maximize his or her wants and limited needs. Ayan. Within the limited needs. It is also the study of how people use their scarce resources. Yes, our resources are not unlimited. Diba? Nagkakaroon tayo ng shortage. It's because we are so many in the Philippines, or even not in the Philippines, but our resources are constant. Hindi naman dumadami. Okay? So, limited lang siya. So, this is a study. Economics is the study how to use, okay, these scarce resources to satisfy their unlimited wants. We as humans, we have unlimited wants, right? Okay, so ang dami nating gusto bilhin for us to survive and for us to be satisfied and to be delighted by these resources. However, these are scarce. So kailangan talaga na it should be sustained. Okay? Para din hindi tayo magutom. Okay? Or hindi tayo ma-dissatisfied. Another definition is it is the efficient allocation of scarce means of production toward the satisfaction of human needs and wants, and the science that deals with the management of scarce resources. So, na-explain ko na to kanina. Since our resources are scarce, we as humans, okay, need to have the sustainable living. Okay, so we have to make decisions as to how to manage these scarce resources to satisfy our unlimited wants and needs. Okay? So those are the different definitions of economics. Now we have two branches of economics. First one is macroeconomics and the other one is microeconomics. So when we say macro, it is bigger or larger in scope, while micro is not like the macro. So it is more on specific. Okay. So my macroeconomics is the study of the economic behavior of the economy as a whole, especially the national economy. So it focuses on the aggregate flow of goods and resources and examines the causes of change in the overall flow of money. So the overall movements of goods and services and general use of resources. It is known as the analysis of employment and income. Yes, macroeconomics behavior of the economy as a whole. Okay, aside from that, the national economy. So larger talaga yung scope ng macro. Kasi nga, ang focus niya is the aggregate. When you say aggregate, cumulative, flow of goods and services. Okay? And flow of the money. What is the flow or spending of money? Okay, the overall movement of goods and services, imports, exports, and the general use of resources. So matatakal natin yan yung employment in general. Bakit ba tayo bakit maraming unemployed? Okay. So it also focuses more on the GNP or the gross national product and gross domestic product of the country. Okay. The measurement of how how many goods and services are being produced in a year. Ayan, so it is also known as the analysis of employment and income. Okay, that's macroeconomics. Okay, aside from that, we have microeconomics. This is the study of economic behavior in particular markets such as the market for computers or unskilled labor. So it focuses on the economic behavior of people and businesses who decide on what to buy and sell. Diba? If mapapansin ninyo, napaka-specific niya as compared to the macro. Okay, behavior ng particular markets. Okay? Yan. It also focuses on the behavior of people and businesses. So, it's the basic unit, right? Behavior ng household, the people and the businesses who decide on what to buy and sell. Aside from that, how much to work and play and how much to borrow and save. So it really focuses more specifically on the behavior and the decision of a certain individual or household. It also studies the factors influencing individual economic choices and how these markets are coordinating various decision makers and choice. So it focuses on the individual entries, the consumer, the producer, and the resource owner behavior. It is also more focused on how products move from the businesses to customer and how resources flow from the resource owner to the business. It is also known as the price theory, concerned with processes of setting prices of goods. Okay, so again, microeconomics is more on the study of a particular household or behavior of the people and businesses. Okay, what do they want to decide in producing goods and services with regards to the businessmans and people? How paano ba sila mag-budget? Ano yung behavior ng individuals na to if there is a change in price? Ayan. So nagbabago kasi ang demand nila. Okay, so those are the two branches of economics. Next is the basic decision problems. So, basic decision problems. So, first one is consumption. It is a problem that people have to deal with their day-to-day activities. Okay, having their individual wants, people decide the types of products and services they want to use or consume and the corresponding amount that they should use and buy. So, in here, their choices, for instance, are food, clothing, technological gadgets, and whether supplied from the government, such as health and education, or privately produced goods. So that's consumption, basic problem, consumption. What they are going to consume, okay? And the corresponding amount that they should use and buy. So more on personal effects. Ayan, that's consumption. uh, Anything that they have to deal with their day-to-day activities. Okay. Next is production. So in production, it is more on the problems of the manufacturers and businessmen. Producers are normally concerned about the production of goods and services. They determine the consumer's needs, wants, and demands, and also they decide on how to distribute the resources to meet customer demands. We all know that we have unlimited wants and needs, right? So businessmen, they have to decide and plan kung paano nila i-allocate itong resources na to na meron sa kanila para ma-satisfy yung human wants and needs. Okay? So, they also studies kung demand pa ba tong particular na product na to kasi if hindi naman, they will not produce more kasi masasayang na hindi na makukonsume ng consumers. Okay, instead, they study the demands, ano yung gusto ng economy or anong gusto ng mga consumers para yun yung mas bibigyan nila ng importansya or magpo-produce sila ng more of those units. So that is a basic problem and that is production. The next is distribution. How to distribute these goods produced to the consumers. So it is mostly addressed by the government. So there must be an appropriate allocation of all resources benefiting all members of the society. We all know na every provincial or municipalities, meron naman talaga silang certain type of product na sila mismo ang nagbibigay. So if they want to distribute it to the different cities na wala ng ganong product na yon, so they have to distribute it or allocate it fair, okay, depending on the needs, ayan, sa mga members ng society. So that's distribution. Para din, yung mga na-produce na goods and services will be distributed appropriately or allocated appropriately to the society. And the last basic problem is the growth over excuse me. So as the societies grow in number, they continue to live on. The problems of choice, consumption, production, and distribution must be perceived in the context of how they will be affecting events in the future. So that's growth over time. As a society grow and nag-i-increase naman talaga yung population natin and we also continue to live on and that we also consume resources. So, growth over time means that ano yung magiging decision natin will also affect in the future. So, a wise man, a man or an individual, businessmen, and the society as whole must be wise in sustaining these scarce resources. Okay, so those are the basic problems. And now we have here the economic production resources. So economic production resources are the resources or inputs. When we say inputs, ito yung kailangan to produce the goods and services that the people wanted. Okay? So first is the land. This is categorized as fixed resources. Finite, exhaustible, and depletable. It is all that nature must freely provides. Rent serve as payment to landowners. So if you have this land, pwede mo to actually gamitin, okay, as part of your business activity. Yan. So kapag pinaparenta mo kasi siya, ayan, nagkaka-returns ka, nagkaka-income ka. Okay, and that is rent. So, may mga business owners din na wala naman talaga silang pagmamay-ari na lupa. So, anong ginagawa nila? Nirerentahan nila ang certain land, okay, para doon sila mag-put up ng manufacturing business or business talaga na doon sila mag-ooperate pero hindi sa kanila yung lupa. Okay, it happens. It really happens. So, kapag ganon, the landowners will receive as rent. Okay? Next is the labor. Labor is the exerted effort of individuals when producing the goods and services. So it covers a wide variety of abilities, characteristics, and skills. So for short, this labor is really needed para masupply natin yung goods and services. Okay? Kasi minsan, lalong-lalo na kapag nung hindi pa talaga developed yung technology dito sa Pilipinas, most of the works are labor intensive, meaning kailangan talagang mag-exert ng effort through human intervention. Pero ngayon, hinay-hinay na siya nawawala, pero hindi pa din mawawala kasi yung labor. Sino mag-ooperate ng machine, right? Because of technological advancement, medyo naghinay-hinay na pod na ang mga machines na will do the process. So the man now is medyo more on admin task na monitoring na lang if the machine is working or functioning as expected. So ganun. Okay? So salary or wage is given to individual in exchange for the rented labor. According to Lianio Jr., 2016, labor is also known as human resources. It reflects human capital available to turn raw material or national resources into consumer products. Human capital comprise all able-bodied people capable of working the economy of the nation and offering other individuals or businesses with different services. So that is labor. Okay? So noon, napaka-demand in demand talaga nila nung nag-reach ang industrial age. Pero ngayon dahil technological age na tayo, medyo hindi naman lahat, okay, na hindi naging in demand yung labor, ano, may mga business pa din na labor intensive. If ever services ang binibigay, right? Pero kapag mga production of goods, na meron na talagang machines, ayan, nababawasan yung labor capacity because of the machines. Next is the capital. You cannot do business or provide the resources if you don't have this one. So these are man-made goods used when producing other goods and services. It is a form of an asset that is mainly as a medium of exchange. Interest is the income that the owner of the capital is earning. So capital signifies the monetary resources because, okay, or businesses used to buy these natural resources, land and other capital goods. So capital, okay, or also known as monetary resources, move the economy of a nation as people purchase and sell resources to people and businesses. So capital also signifies the most important physical assets used in the production of products and services by individuals and businesses. So the capital stock of the nation depends on its savings level. Savings is part of the person or economy's income which is not spent on consumption. Okay, so yan yung tatandaan natin, the capital, monetary resources, and the savings. Okay? So you know naman what is the concept of the savings, di ba? If your income is in excess with your expenditure, then you can save. That's surplus actually, and that is savings. Okay, so capital, every individual cannot provide their wants and needs or uh cannot able to produce goods and services if they don't have this one. Okay, the monetary resources. The next is entrepreneurship. It is an economic activity that might earn the entrepreneur a profit or loss. An entrepreneur is an individual organizing, managing, and assuming the business risk and developing a new product or idea, turning into successful business, having skills in management necessary to develop, run, and expand the business. So entrepreneurship, it's more of kung walang businesses, so wala ding magpo-produce ng goods and services natin. So actually, they're individuals or business owners that assume really business risk. Risky naman kasi magpo-put up ng business. Kasi what if yung business na in-establish mo is hindi naman ganun ka-click or in demand in the economy or in the society. So may risk talaga doon. But if ever that risk really bears fruit, then maganda naman, okay? The higher the risk nga, the higher also the return. So that is why entrepreneurship are also important because they create employment. Kung wala mga business establishments, wala ding employment na makikreate. Kaya nga 'di ba, the president in the country really allows foreign investors to put business here in the Philippines kasi if there are foreign investors that are doing business here in the Philippines, it also creates employment. So kapag nag-create ng employment, mababawasan yung unemployed dito sa Pilipinas. Okay? And tataas yung labor force natin. Ayan. So, tataas, maraming magkaka-income. If maraming magkaka-income, maraming hindi magugutom. If hindi nagugutom, hindi gagawa ng krimen. 'Di ba? Connected kasi lahat 'yan. Isa sa problema ng Pilipinas talaga is poverty. Ayan. Kasi kapag poverty ka, you are suffering poverty, ayan, or mahirap, minsan nakakagawa ng masama yung ano, yung tao because they want to survive. Actually, the root talaga ng crime is poverty. Kaya dapat for us to solve the crime, there must be employment. Ayan. Maraming dapat ma-create na employment para marami yung tao na makakapagtrabaho at hindi nagagawa ng krimen. Okay? So next is the foreign exchange. It is the dollar and the dollar reserves of the economy has. Ayan. So that's foreign exchange. Next, the opportunity cost. So, scarcity, na include na natin to kanina at nababanggit-banggit na natin itong scarcity. It is a condition facing all societies because there are not enough productive resources to satisfy people's unlimited wants. So it is a condition where there are insufficient resources to satisfy all the needs and wants of a population. As such, it becomes a resource allocation dilemma. Because of scarcity, nahihirapan talaga, okay, yung economy kung paano i-allocate itong mga resources na to. Paano i-sustain? Every year we become larger and larger in population. Di ba nadadagdagan tayo? Okay, lalo na nung pandemic, right? Mas dumami. It's because naka-lockdown lahat. Okay, so ngayon, paano sa-satisfy yung needs and wants ng consumers. So that's the concept of scarcity. Since scarcity is evident, klarong-klaro naman talaga, people need to decide on the means of maximizing the use of limited resources. Ito yung napaka-challenging. How do we maximize these limited resources? What is our purpose? To satisfy their unlimited wants. So we have here opportunity cost na concept. It is the value of the best foregone alternative or the value of what is given up when one makes a choice. Opportunity cost is perceived in the relative price on one's items should be relative to another's item's price. For example, para maintindihan natin yung concept ng opportunity cost, the price of one 250 ml alcohol is priced at 50 pesos. And the other one is 55 grams instant noodles are priced at 10. Therefore, the relative price of one 250 ml alcohol bottle is equal to 5. Okay, 55 grams of instant noodle pouches. So that's the relative ano ha. Okay, but another example para mas maintindihan ninyo, dito tayo mag-focus kasi sa definition, the value of the best foregone alternative or what value, what is given up when one makes a choice. Ano yung pinorgo natin? Dahil may pinili tayong iba. That's opportunity cost. Halimbawa, you want to buy a cellphone through earning, okay, earnings ng allowances mo, and you want to go to travel, yung mga hiking ngayon, in demand yan. So, ano bang pipiliin mo? Hiking or you want to buy a cellphone through your allowances? Now, if you want to hike, hindi ka makakabili ng cellphone. If you want to buy a cellphone, hindi ka pwedeng mag-hike kasi nga mababawasan yung allowance mo. If ever, and both alternatives may cost. Pupunta ka ng hike, may mga entrance fees, bibili ka ng food, right? And then, yung cellphone, kailangan mo muna magtipid para makabili ka. So, if you chose to buy a new cellphone, then the value foregone is the value or the amount that could be expend or that could be spent rather in hiking. So that's the opportunity cost. Ano yung hindi natin pinili? That's the opportunity cost. Because we chose another alternative. Okay? Next, there's no such thing as free lunch. This is in connection with the opportunity cost. This explains the notion of opportunity cost. Why? Because decision making involves trade-offs. Nagti-trade-offs tayo, we have to choose one. We have to decide whether to choose this alternative or not. Okay, and this suggests that in society, there are no real free offers. Diba? Lahat there must be someone who pays for it. For instance, the person giving the gift pays for goods and services given as a gift free to individuals. So binigyan siya ng gift Actually, yung gift na binigay sa kanya is not actually for free. There is someone who actually pays for it. So, that's the concept of no free lunch, okay? There's no such thing as free lunch. Even if there is no one to shoulder the direct cost, society, in the case of negative environmental impacts such as pollutions, assume the responsibility. So that's the concept of no such thing as free lunch. We have positive and normative economics. So positive economics is an economic analyst that considers economic conditions as they are. Consider or consider economics as it is. So the objective of scientific explanation are used in the analysis of different transactions in the economy. So example of positive statements, positive economics, ito ha, as they are and as it is. The country's unemployment rate stayed 5.3% in January and underemployment hit the lowest level at 14.18% in decades. So that's positive statements. Unemployment nagstay, hindi nag-increase. Therefore, may nagawa ang economy or may behavior sa economy na nagpa fix ng rate ng unemployment. So hindi dapat siya tataas. Kasi kapag tataas yan, uh, maraming affected kasi nga walang trabaho. Okay? So marami din ang suffer within below the poverty level. And nag-lowest yung underemployment. So meaning may iba na nagkaroon ng trabaho. Okay? The economy is now experiencing slowdown because of too much politicking and corruption in the government. So, 'di ba? Again, this is an analysis, okay, that pertains to economic condition as they are, okay, and as it is. Yeah. So ano yung nangyayari? What really actually is happening in the economy. So that's positive economics. Next is the normative economics. Is an economic analysis that judges economic conditions as this should be. Parang perfectionist to. This must be. It is also focuses on policy making that will allow ideal situation to be achieved. Example, the Philippine government should initiate political reforms to regain investor confidence and consequently boost the economy. And to minimize the effect of global recession, the Philippine government should release a stimulus package geared toward encouraging economic productivity. So, this should be, sa example, yun na yung sinabi ko kanina, okay, that they must have political reforms, okay, to regain investor confidence. Okay, actually, napaka-importante naman talaga yung role ng mga investors dito sa atin. Okay, kasi nga, they are the one who create employment. Okay, mga partners yan sila ng government, mga friends, kumbaga. Kasi nga, hindi lang sila nakakatulong sa business nila, kundi nakakatulong din sila sa economy as a whole. Dadami yung GDP, tataas yung gross domestic product natin, the measurement of goods being produced within a year. Ayan. So, gaganda din ang ekonomiya. Okay, so in the normative, dapat you have to provide this focuses more on an economy as should be. Okay, ito dapat mangyari. So kung ganyan yung magiging concept niya or context niya, policy making talaga ang magiging ano nito, magiging part or counterpart. Next, ceteris paribus assumption. So when we say ceteris paribus, it is the Greek term meaning all other things held constant or else equal. It is an assumption used in analyzing the relationship between two variables as other factors are unchanged. Okay, so all factors affecting economic situations are not considered economic analysis. In simplifying the context of economic phenomena, economists devised a way as ceteris paribus assumptions. Okay? Ito is applicable to sa concept ng demand and supply natin. Kasi ang graph ng supply and demand is only focusing more on the quantity and the price. Okay? I know you're familiar with the graph ng supply and demand. Dalawa lang kasi yung variable niya, the quantity and the price. Actually, it is not the price that really that really affects the behavior or the demand in the supply. Marami pa siyang factors pero hindi lang siya kayang i-quantify or i-graph. That is why kailangan natin ng assumption ng ceteris paribus. When all other things are held constant, so sa graph and supply natin, sa graph ng demand and supply, price lang yung kino-consider doon, not the other factors. Okay? Ayan. Next, economics as an applied science. So when we say applied science, it is that a discipline dealing with the application of scientific knowledge. It's application, not to problems, to develop practical solution. Okay? My scientific knowledge tayo or theories or principles, this must be applied in actual situation para makadevelop tayo ng practical solutions. Okay? Applied economics is the study of economics relative to real-life situations by observing how theories work in practice. Okay? It typically deals with the numbers on which are focused and backed up by potential results being reviewed. Next is applied economics. The application of economic theory, okay, and econometrics in specific settings to analyze potential outcomes. So we have economic theories. This is a simplification of economic reality used to make predictions about the real world. Ang dami nating economic theories. So matatakal natin yan when we go beyond the topic. Okay, these economic theories will be applied, okay, for us to provide practical solutions by the use of econometrics. Okay, yung mga supply and demand natin, elasticities, these are the application of econometrics. Okay, statistical and mathematical theories to economics for testing hypotheses and future forecasting trends. Okay, applied economics application. It is a powerful tool that allows the real and full picture to unfold so that from the current position, it becomes possible to determine what to do and where to go. Diba? Kapag we have applied economics, may real picture tayo of what is really happening, what is the problem. In this current situation will be the basis on what to determine a possible solution. Okay? Ayan. It also serves as a mechanism to decide what steps to enhance the current situation that could logically be pursued. Okay? If there's a problem, ano yung mga possible alternatives na pwede natin gawin to provide, okay, the services or to solve the problem. It also teach useful lessons about how to prevent a negative situation. Dahil nangyari na yan before or in the past at meron nang nagawa na alternatives or marami, ayan, practically, hindi na siya mangyayari in the future or kung mangyayari man, alam na natin kung paano siya i-solve. Okay? To mitigate the impact. Okay, so we have economic systems. Economic system is a set of mechanisms and institutions that resolves what, how, and for whom questions. It is how society responds to the basic economic questions. Ayan, so we have these different economic systems. We have pure market economy or market economy. Ayan, this economic system is in which private firms account for all the production. So it describes an economic system where markets play a relatively large role. So that's a market economy. Okay, it is also known as a free market economy and it is most democratic form of economic system. So we have here, di ba? It is also applicable here in the Philippines. May market economy tayo. The sellers or the businessmen are free to put up businesses, right? In the market. Yan, to provide goods and services to the consumers. Ayan. Next is pure command economy. It is an economic system which all resources are governed, owned, and controlled, and all production is directed by the central plans of the government. So we have command and planned economy. Ang command economy, actually, same lang naman ito sila. Okay? Ayan. Ang command economy, authoritative system wherein decision making is centralized in the government or planning committee. So, ang government, siya yung mismong nagde-decide kung ano yung price ng market, okay, market goods, ano yung magiging decision in economy as a whole. May mga command economy na tayo. For example, si China, si North Korea. Ayun, mga command economy. Wala silang choice. The market has no choice but to obey the policies. Yan. Planned economy, mostly government controlled din yan. With the government deciding what to produce, at what quantity, and at what price. Ayan, we have also some parts na command economy din tayo. Okay? Kasi may mga batas na we need to do this, we are prohibited to do this one and do this what, do that one. So therefore, hindi tayo purely market economy, kundi a mix of market and command. So Philippines is on the third one, mixed economy. It is an economic system that mixes central planning with competitive markets. It is a mix of rather a free economy, such as market, okay, combined with planned economy as well as avoiding the issues with capitalism and socialist economies. And we have transitional economy, economic system in the process of shifting, okay, from central planning to competitive. Mag-shift from one type of economy to another type. Transitional. Okay? From central planning to competitive markets, from planned economy to a market economy. And we have the last one, traditional. It's an economic system shaped largely by custom or religion. Ito yung mga economies dati before. 'Di ba? That the people are simple for them to survive. They move from one place to another. They hunt for food. So that's and if they want to buy something, they exchange, okay? They exchange goods like barter system. Ayan. These practices that had been preserved and transferred from generation to generation over the years. Economic questions, okay? So we have 5 economic questions. Bakit ba to nag-exist? It's because of our resources in which they are scarce, 'di ba? So we have na-develop itong economic question. First economic question is what to produce and how much. Ano ipoproduce natin? At kung alam na natin kung ano ipoproduce, magkano. Okay? So these factors consider when producing products or services that the people need. Available ba ang resources if ever? May lugar ba tayo for the location? Okay. For the business and people, customs and traditions. Kailangan i-consider yan. Kasi kapag hindi mo kinonsider ang customs and tradition, malamang hindi yan ipapatronize sa mga consumers. Okay? Society decides the quantity and the quality of products and services that should be produced in the economy. Next one is how to produce. Since alam na natin kung ano yung ipoproduce and by how much, ngayon, paano na siya ipoproduce? Before the quantity, quality of the production must come first. Diba? So it focuses more on the process of producing those identified products to be produced. Okay, this corresponds to the combination of resources and technology. Anong panggagamit natin to convert inputs into outputs? Mga machines. Ayan, that is used in the production. Next economic question is for whom to produce? Para kanino tayo magpuproduce ng mga ganitong resources? This question identifies the individual or sectors which demand the produced goods. Siyempre may planning naman yung mga manufacturers. At alam nila na they are producing this one because a certain type of our type or part of our place or as a whole needs it. Okay? Ayan. Also, to determine their consumption behaviors and patterns, economists should identify the target market of the goods and services. So, kailangan din talaga nito ng proper research and demographics. Okay. Are these resources of the economy being utilized or some of them lying idle and unemployed? So the production system is considered inefficient if resources are not completely utilized. For example, sa labor force natin, ang labor force is composed of employed, unemployed, and underemployed. So i-measure doon if yung labor natin is completely utilized ba, ayan, or hindi. Goods and services ba natin, the resources are being utilized or idle lang siya? Ayan. So, that's the next economic question. Next is the capacity of the economy to produce growing goods growing or just remaining the same over time. So this is somewhat a measurement from previous to current. Okay, kaya nga tayo merong mga gross domestic product and gross national product for us to know if how much goods and services are being produced in a year. So, i-compare yan for us to answer the economic question number 5. Growing ba yung economy natin or hindi? So, malalaman yan through econometrics. Okay, or yung measurements natin. For example, GDP, demand and supply graph, so on and so forth. That's the end of the slide. So I hope you learned a lot with the topic. So see you next meeting for our next video tutorial.